Hello everyone, welcome to Urbanscape Bangalore, and in this episode we will be learning about propagating the Thunbergia Grandiflora. This is otherwise called the Bengal clock wine or the sky blue wine. Sky blue wine because it gives out those magnificent, really grand, beautiful blue flowers that are pendulous in nature. This is quite a vigorous plant, however, this is not invasive, so you can heave a sigh of relief. So let us look at how to propagate this particular plant. And also, I would want to tell you that I got this from the same park where I had taken a video earlier of this plant. So you must be a little careful when you do this, because check with the park wardens if that is allowed, and also see if it is just growing in gay abandon, then you can definitely take a small cutting of it and bring it home. But if it is being grown or being taken care of by the park wardens or anyone for that matter, then always ask for permission. If you do not get the permission, go back to your nursery. So that is a very important tip that you guys have to keep in mind. We generally become very greedy, as gardeners we become very greedy, and we kind of start doing a lot of things that is not required. Always ask for permission, and if you get a plant for free, then nothing like it. So now let us look at how to propagate this plant. As soon as you take a cutting of this Thunbergia grandiflora, dip it in water, because a lot of moisture is lost between the transit. So just dip it immediately into water as soon as you reach home. That's what I've done, because it loses a lot of moisture and that is not good for a cutting. So now let us see what kind of cuttings you have to take. You see this is more sturdy and hard, this part of it, and it's quite green. And then when you go a little further, it becomes light green and it is very soft and wriggly, right? So these things are not viable, but this is. So this is our main cutting. This is our star performer for today, and we will immediately put this for propagation. So first and foremost thing you need to do is always disinfect your scissor by using isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol. So take a cotton swab, dip it in isopropyl alcohol, and then rub your secateur or your cutting tool. This is very important, because especially with cuttings, because we do not want any kind of infection affecting the growth of the cutting. And this is quite difficult to propagate as well, and this costs a bomb in the nursery. It costs around 600 to 800 rupees. It's quite a costly plant. I love the Thunbergia mysorensis variety. I would love to. That's my dream plant. I love those beautiful flowers. They're just amazing. So I will probably buy that one day and have it grow in my house. However, now let's look at propagating this Thunbergia grandiflora. So let us take off the leaves at the bottom. So this is our growth point. This is where the roots will come from. So this is the point where I took a cutting off. I did not do a very good job of it. I did it with my hand. So I'm just giving it a slight trim, maybe at a 45-degree angle. So this works. You can scar this node area. This will trigger the production of the roots. See, when you're doing all these things, if your scissors are infected with some disease, then that disease will go into the roots, it will rot, and it will not propagate. So that is the very reason that you need to disinfect your scissors or your cutting tools. So this will be our first cutting. So always take a big cutting, because stem cuttings are not very successful, especially for such plants which are a little fussy. Now let us cut a portion of the leaves. So a small tiny portion of the leaf is enough for photosynthesis and other plant processes to happen. Do not take off the entire leaf portion. You need some amount of it. Now we can also take this portion here and then cut it till here. This is the second portion. So we will keep this as the node. Do the same thing. So these two are the cuttings that we have, and then you can also use this just in case. Take off the leaf completely. You can still use this, we will see. So the cuttings are ready, guys. I will be potting this in a potting medium that has a lot of sand and little bit of soil. So this loves good drainage. You cannot put a lot of garden soil and then put these cuttings, because garden soil tends to hold a lot of water, which is not good for a new cutting. The new cutting should be in a well draining soil, and that is the key tip for you all who love propagating their beautiful vines. So thank you for watching Urbanscape Bangalore, and just like how I had propagated the sandpaper vine, I hope this also becomes successful, and I will show the success of this particular plant in another video. Thank you for watching Urbanscape Bangalore, and if you like this video, then please do not forget to subscribe.